Welcome in, everyone. We have some massive news to discuss, and that news is Mexico has bent the knee in the tariff war with the United States and President Donald Trump. And what this means, there is major military action that is being taken on the southern side of the border. We're going to get into all of it. Before we do, as always, please make sure to like and subscribe. It helps immensely. You guys have no idea how important you all are, the viewers. And I want you all to comment with your thoughts below about the situation with Canada, Mexico, Trump, all of it. We're going to unpack it all. So I'm filming this on February 3rd. The stock market opened today down big. And the reason is that Trump slapped 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada and hit China, I believe, with a 10% tariff as well. So the tariff wars are underway with Canada and Mexico vowing to retaliate. And everyone's kind of interested to see how is this going to shake out, what is actually going to happen. And it's actually kind of already over. And Mexico bent the knee, just like I predicted they would. And Trump's main goal is that he wants the flow of poison from south of the border and the flow of people from south of the border being pushed by the cartels and others to stop. He wants that to stop. Just draw a line in the sand. You can't allow it. That's why he sent troops to the border. And the tariffs are essentially a way to force Mexico to do your bidding, to get them in line to play the game. So today, February 3rd, Monday, Mexico already essentially said, yep, we'll do what you want. And I'm going to read you right now. I'll throw it up here on the screen for you all. This is Trump's statement on the tariff situation. I just spoke with President Claudia Sheinbaum of Mexico. It was a very friendly conversation wherein she agreed to immediately supply 10,000 Mexican soldiers on the border separating Mexico and the United States. These soldiers will be specifically designated to stop the flow, I have to say drugs, I believe, because YouTube will block it otherwise, and illegal migrants into our country. We further agreed to immediately pause the anticipated tariffs for 1 month period during which we will have negotiations headed by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Secretary of the Treasury Scott Bessent, and Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick, and high-level representatives of Mexico. I look forward to participating in those negotiations with President Sheinbaum as we attempt to achieve a deal between our two countries. The president of Mexico also took to social media to say we had a good conversation with President Trump. With great respect for our relationship and sovereignty, we reached a series of agreements. Mexico will immediately reinforce the northern border with 10,000 members of the National Guard to prevent drug trafficking from Mexico to the United States, particularly, again, something I can't repeat here. The United States is committed to working to prevent the trafficking of high-powered weapons to Mexico. Our teams will begin working today on two fronts, security and trade. They are pausing the tariffs for 1 month from now. So there you go. There you have it. The United States wanted Mexico to do something about the border and to do something about the cartels. We cannot allow a country south of our border to sit idly by as violence, drugs, criminals stream over the border in our country. We had an election about this, and the election pretty much was a mandate to Trump to do something about that. So Trump says, I'm going to slap you guys with a 25% tariff, just like I'm going to hit Canada with a 25% tariff. And I'm not saying you got to like tariffs or dislike tariffs. You got, let me know in the comments what you guys think about tariffs. I'm open to debates about it. I'm far from an expert on it. But everyone was like, there's no way Mexico will play ball. Canada's up there talking tough and all that stuff. It took Mexico 1 weekend to sit back, look at the situation they're in, and come to the conclusion, yeah, you know what? We're just going to do what Trump wants. We're just going to do what the United States wants. We're going to send 10,000 troops to the border to deal with these cartels, to deal with the drugs, to deal with the problems from their side of the border. Because keep in mind, we've got guys on our side of the border. We've got the Army down there. We've got the Marines down there. There's been some chatter about the 10th Mountain Division going down, the 82nd Airborne Division going down. That hasn't happened as of yet. But we have, I believe, we sent 1,500 extra troops to plus up the resources we already had on the border. And now Mexico is sending an additional 10,000 troops for their side of the border. So for everyone who said there was no way Mexico would listen, that Mexico was somehow going to stick it to us, this is simple economics. We are the biggest economy in the world. So the idea that Mexico or Canada or any other economy is going to push us around, quite frankly, I don't know what that's based on. This also goes back to the toolbox theory. You want to have as many tools in the toolbox as you possibly can. You want to be able to reach in when you need a tool, get the right tool for the job. So when we're talking about the cartels, for example, we're talking about using military action maybe to target leadership, specific individuals, things of that nature. When you're talking about economics, again, I'm not an economic expert. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I am like many grifters on social media who seemingly are experts in everything. I'm going to tell you when I don't know something. I have a baseline understanding of economics. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I have more than that because it's just not true. But the argument was, let's apply some pressure, let's turn up the heat, and let's do something about the fact that Mexico won't control their side of the border. And now, after the weekend, after all these threats and all this nonsense, the weekend came and went. Mexico, by Monday morning, decided, you know what? We'll send the troops. We'll send 10,000 troops up there. Trump is like, we'll pause the tariffs for 1 month. That gives you 1 month to get your stuff in order, to prove to us that you're doing what you need to do. And then in 1 month, if they don't do what they said they're going to do, well, then you're going to see the tariffs come back. That would be my guess. I don't really know how you could do it any other way, right? What's the point of having tariffs if you're not actually going to, what's the point of having the threats of tariffs if you're not actually going to go out there and do what you say you're going to do? So that's where things are at right now. Let's pivot to Canada real quick. Canada's probably looking at this right now and thinking, well, Mexico already went down. They already collapsed, gave Trump what he wanted. They already bent the knee. They went down singing a song, if you will. How does Canada respond? I know that Canada's talking about like, well, you can't sell your alcohol here. Okay, I don't know if that is going to, I don't think the U.S. economy is going to collapse because Canadians can no longer buy American booze. But who knows? Maybe, again, not an expert. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll be proven wrong on that. Don't think I will be, but it's quite possible. My anticipation is you're going to see Canada do something very similar as to what we just watched Mexico do. That's a prediction. Bookmark this. It's February 3rd. My guess is you're going to see a deal reached and the tariffs will either go away or be lowered. But Canada, just like Mexico, if I had to predict, is also going to bend the knee. It's just the nature of the beast. We have a bigger economy. America has a bigger economy. You get to play bully ball when you're the one with the bigger economy. So that's where I think that goes. Hopefully these 10,000 troops are good at their job. I don't know anything about like the specific unit they're coming from. That hasn't been made public. I hope they do their job. I hope they're good at their job. But the reality is this. Trump won. The USA won this round. They bent the knee. They sent the troops. Now it's time to hold them accountable and make sure those troops do their job to stop the poison from being pushed over the border. Anyways, if you made it this far in the video, please like and subscribe. And I want you all to comment how you think the tariff situation ends and what you think about Mexico bending the knee to Trump. I'll see y'all next time.